breakdown, day 14, where Lawrence has just read chapters 130 through 131 through 140 of Bleach for the first time, and we're here to discuss them. Lawrence, how are you?
Oh, it's going good. As you said, love and light. We'll see if that's reflected in these 10 chapters. Some pretty dark stuff going on, so don't imagine.
All right. Well, let's recap where we were at yesterday. Yesterday, oh man, it was super late that we were recording yesterday.
Yesterday it ended with
But what
Hatsugaya being
but what
accused by
happened?
Momo.
What happened during yesterday?
Well, there
Oh
was the
yeah,
Uryu, the
the Uri and Kurtsuchi fight, right?
yeah, the Uryu and Kurtsuchi fight. Orihime got captured. Well, but technically not captured because it seems like they're allied now with Baizaraki. Byakuya ripped Ichigo to shreds, and then they went off to go train. And that process started with the Bankai and the Shinkai, of it all. And you got a little bit of the Kosuke Yoriichi backstory going on, and it ended all with Hatsugaya getting accused by Momo, while Ichimaru or Jin, whatever you want to call him, watched on with Izuru.
Yeah. So let's start things off with the poem for Volume 16, Night
Mm-hmm.
of Wujinroot.
Yes.
All right. The poem here is: the mane of the sun pouring down traces the footsteps on thin ice. Not fear deception. The world already lies atop deception.
Yeah. It also go on. It obviously reflects the chapter, considering like a lot of these 10 are about the Ichimaru and Jin and the deception of like who did what, and then also you have the like Rukia element with Ganju's brother and the Chiba family and all that stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of like deception and a lot of like half truths and very kind of like mixed up morality going on throughout these 10 chapters.
Yeah. Let's dive into the content themselves. What did you think of the further Momo/Hitsugaya confrontation?
Yeah, so I think after the last chapter, after the last 10, I was like, well, I guess I could see how Hatsugaya might be the person. He was, like I said, he was immediately taking up Aizen's abilities like right after he died, and he was also seemed to like know like the information that he was spewing out. He either knows something like that's deeper here as to like why it's all going on, or he was lying to like cover his ass. That's what like my logic was. But then after seeing the reveal of like what happened post that, you're hearing things from his perspective, and from his perspective he sounds like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Like, if I think if he were lying, since like the story is being told from like him thinking things like rather than him saying things, then that I have to imagine that means that he's telling the truth, that he's has nothing to do with this, and he's like trying to figure it out himself. Otherwise, like the author is lying to us completely, like because he's like pretty much in his mind saying like, I don't know why she's attacking me right now.
Mhm.
And then Ichimaru, or Jin, he also kind of like looked on, didn't really add anything to it. He's acting very sketchy as well. But part of me is thinking like maybe he's not in the perpetrator here, and there's like some like deep like undercover mission that he's trying to accomplish. I don't know, like that. It's a lot to be left to for interpretation here, in my opinion. And like whether or not this whole like arc kind of is tied up neatly and it like and is like really like high quality, or
Mhm.
whether it's like shit, depends on like where this turns out for me. Like because this all this setup and all this like crazy like shenanigans going on. Like I need like a payoff that's worth all of this story that this has been given, because I'm enjoying it. This is the kind of
Mhm.
thing where you enjoy it if it works out.
So I just want to make this clear: you are off of the Hitsugaya is the murderer train.
Yeah, because if he's the murderer, then the author is lying to us because like it could be well because okay like the stuff that he's saying like is stuff that he's thinking. It's not stuff that he's saying out loud. So I'm like so it's kind of
Yeah.
like if he was saying the stuff that he was thinking as like in the thought bubbles, then I'd be like
Hmm.
maybe there's still room for interpretation that he's the murderer because
Hmm.
he could just be saying this to like try to throw people off the scent. But if he's like thinking it in his mind and that's what we're being shown, then I have to imagine that he's innocent here. Or or at least maybe he's like in the grander conspiracy, but he didn't know that Eisen dying would be involved in this whole thing. Like that's the only other alternative for me.
Yeah, so I just wanted to track it. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to track where you're at on the Eisen train until we find out, who actually
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, I mean, look, where I'm at currently is like I like honestly have no clue who did it. Like um I mean, I guess each again Jin is still like somewhat of a suspect, but like the, his connection to like the fifth to the vice captain of like the fifth division and the way she keeps like reflecting back on things as if like I like she knows him better than most people know him, and she like can't really imagine him like doing this sort of thing like without I don't know like the way it's all being set up. It seems like Jin is going to be cleared by the end of this whole arc. Like I don't think it's going to end up being him. If it's him, I hope they explain it in a good way because it really doesn't seem like it's him based on like the context clues that I've been given.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what did you think of the Rukia Kain backstory?
The Rukia Kaein backstory. Yeah, you know what? This has probably been the most effective backstory so far for me. Like because I because you got to see like her connection, like you're like I feel like Rukia is really becoming like a lot more like emotionally grounded within the story, like like becoming like a lot more of uh, a character that you can like hang on to. Like she's probably like my favorite character at this point, like in terms of like what we've been given from her and her and her yeah, just like in general, her demeanor throughout this whole thing is I think just been a great character in that regard. And
Mm.
yeah, it was great to get some backstory as to into Ganju's brother and how that all transpired. And I'm also like very curious as to why she she really held close to the vest in terms of like what happened with Kaein when like Ganju was questioning her and like threatening to murder her. Because I think he would have understood if she gave him the full story, but I think it also might be another one of those things where she doesn't want to like besmirch his brother's like memory and kind of drudge up like a story of like him becoming a hollow and him and needing to get put down, And I think
Yeah.
also some part of her feels like she was weak for not being able to find a way to deal with it without killing him. She did it. She killed him out of fear, and she like was wishing that she was more brave in that moment. So she might also just think, I did kill him, because she did kill him, and she feels like there was a way that she could have done it without killing him.
Yeah, I've never liked this backstory. I think it's really ridiculous that she comes away from thinking, "Oh, I killed him." Like, we're watching this and it's pretty obvious. Like, she had to kill him, and she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh," and she's like, she's being so sulky about it whenever she's talked about it before this. Like, I can't believe I did this. I was the one who murdered him. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That aspect of it, I agree with you. Like she probably should have just told him. But I mean, I like the backstory in terms of like you're getting more depth to her character, I guess, is something. I mean, that's been my problem. I think my problem is I've been trying to like grasp at anything like that from this
You've
manga.
been spoiled by One Piece because their backstories are good, and these
Yeah,
backstories
that's
are
my
pretty terrible
problem.
for the most
I'm
part.
just trying like I'm trying to like that's been my problem with this manga so far because even like something like Naruto, which I feel like deservingly gets knocked and prodded at on various storylines, they like have some like backstories that are like emotional enough for you to kind of like be like this is great story, this is great
So,
character, this is blah blah blah. But this is like there's nothing here like in terms of that, so it's just like kind of hard to like because that's like what draws me usually to like manga or anime or any
Ble-
or any entertainment medium. Like this is lacking all of that, in my opinion.
Bleach's story is not that great, and the sooner you accept that, the sooner better off you'll be. It's all about like cool moments, big mind fucks, cool art, cool designs, and like that. That's it. That's what
So I
Bleach is
should
good
just
at.
give up on that. I should just give up on wanting a great story. I should just
Ble-
give up on
Bleach is a ride, not an experience.
like okay, okay, like if you had to think of something in like Western media that is comparable, like what is what is Bleach analogous to in terms of like entertainment product? Is it just like a blockbuster thriller kind of like is it like a Michael Bay? Is it like Michael Bay? Is it like M. Night Shyamalan?
Like more like Quentin Tarantino.
But Quentin Tarantino makes some good stuff though, occasionally.
But they're
Like all the
fun
time.
rides. How much depth is there actually to what he makes though?
I think there's some depth. I'm trying to think of like
See that's my best example in terms of like yeah, Quentin Tarantino is probably is like a better filmmaker than Kubo is his story, but like it's just
yeah,
like the funness of it, the fun of being along for the ride. You know you enjoy it while it's going on. It's not necessarily like super
right.
deep or thought provoking. It's just like it's entertaining. You
Yeah,
know,
okay. Okay, like that's one thing, but for I think for the problem, like not problem like in
My, Michael
an
Bay
where
isn't entertaining, so that's why I'm not agreeing there.
yeah. Like okay, so like my thing is like yeah, but it like I think my part of my problem is I feel like this arc is like a very introductory arc in terms of like this is what a Shinkai does, this is what a Bankai does. We're gonna train you for 3 days here. We're gonna train you for it's just train like he just keeps getting like he keeps losing the fight, training, losing the fight,
Well,
training.
you told me that you were really excited for this arc because all you read was like this is a really great shonen arc, and like I told you, like I don't really agree. I think there's a different arc that I much prefer. Like
Okay.
I think the series gets more fun as it goes along because it's just building upon what's already been established and saying, well, fuck everything that came before. Look at this.
Okay, okay, good. That's what I okay. I'm happy like you're telling me this now because like I think part of the reason I'm kind of just like complaining so much is like I've heard so much like hype about this arc and I'm like this is fine, like this is okay, but I'm like waiting to be like knocked off my feet. I'm waiting for some plot point to be like, wow, I can't believe that Bleach has done this. I can't believe like, but I'm
I
not
mean,
getting there.
you'll get there eventually at the end of the arc, kind of, but
Right, because if you're not going to give me any like emotional like grounding stuff to like really connect to, or like some backstories that I'm like loving, like what, and I'm not getting that excitement portion yet. Like, what am I reading this for? That's what I'm waiting for, honestly. I think like I'm just waiting for that
mhm.
moment. I'm just waiting for it, and I'm hoping they'll deliver on that. And from what you're saying, it sounds like I'll get it at some point. So, I'll like, and the thing is, I'm not like knocking in terms of like I'm reading these and I'm like they're enjoyable. Like this is
Mhm.
fine, but we're like analyzing it like against like up against like the greats of all time because this is supposed to be like a big three anime manga. So I'm kind of like,
I mean, it's called the Big Three because it was popular, not you know,
yeah, okay,
not
all
not
right.
because it was good.
Yeah,
But
okay, that's fair. Fair point. Fair point. Okay, but
yeah,
let's move on. Let's get to the next stuff.
uh,
We'll diatribe there.
well, see, this is what's going to be. This is what's more going to be happening as we get further into the series. We're going to be getting into it a little more and talking
Yeah.
about the crazy things because when the
Yeah.
crazy things happen, that's when we're
Okay.
going to be able to really break it down. Right now, it's just been a lot of introductory stuff, so we're
Yeah.
just kind of like,
Like
you know,
he's
okay,
training. He's gonna lose. He's gonna train. He's gonna learn this new thing, and he's just gonna learn another new thing, and then another. Like just like fucking learn your stuff and fight people. God damn it. Okay, let's go.
what did you think of Zaraki breaking out the Ichigo gang?
What? Think about what?
What did you think of Zaraki breaking out the friends, Ichigo's friends, Chad, Orihime,
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh,
are you?
that was probably my favorite part, like in terms of fun like stuff going on. You had Yurachi, similar to Zoro, doesn't know directions. Um, you
Mhm.
had yeah, there was some farm arguing there,
It's a great thing of Orihime also riding on his back.
or he may writing on the
Yeah.
back. You have Uryu like losing his mind in the prison, like trying to like getting in arguments with with Ganju, yeah, some fun stuff going on there. Like that was some enjoyable stuff for sure.
What did you think of Zaraki fighting Komamura and Tosin?
Zaraki fighting I'm no, like I was definitely intrigued by like how that whole thing went down because like as I said, as I have said in prior chapters, like it's amazing like how dysfunctional these Soul Reapers are. Like I get you're in different divisions, but like it's not like freaking branches of the military are fighting. Like the Air Force isn't like fighting the Navy. Like all like you can have like your internal like your internal like spats or whatever. Like in terms of like just like fun building culture stuff, but like when you're fighting each other like in the open like this is it's just like they're really in disarray, the whole Soul Reaper uh thing, their whole system. They need to like overhaul it. It's
Mhm.
a mess. um but yeah, I mean, I'm happy. I'm starting to like Zaraki a lot more. Yeah, I think that these 10, he's definitely moved way up in the ranks for me in terms of like enjoyable characters. I like, he just wants to fight. Like he just wants to. That's what gets him up in the morning. And more power to him. He knows who he is.
All right. So this set of 10 chapters ends with Renji confronting uh, Byakuya and announcing that he is unleashing his Bankai.
Hmm.
What are your thoughts on that?
Um, Oh, Renji, yeah, like yeah, I was happy to get Renji back in the fold. Like another character that's just yeah, really fun. I like him, uh, and it seemed like the right time. He's been able to lick his wounds for a little bit. You saw him talking to. I think that was his Bankai he was talking to earlier in like last 10 chapters. He was like talking to him about should they like kill.
Well, that's his manifestation of his
That's
Shikai.
what I meant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's what he was talking to his manifestation. And then but yeah, so it was funny. You got to see him like question whether or not Ichigo is gonna be able to get get his Bankai, going. And it was fun to see him and Yorichi kind of, discussing that, and Yorichi like saying like that I'm seeing it. He's got it in him for sure. So yeah, definitely good stuff there.
Okay. Do you have any expectations for the next 10 chapters?
um like hopefully like he finishes this damn training thing, because I'm starting to get like, just give him the damn powers. Like we know he's gonna get it, like just give it to him. I'm tired of this. um like Zangetsu, like freaking emo little asshole, just give him the damn power. um I mean, Yorichi's fun. Hopefully she fights too. That'd be cool. um I really want to see more of like the misadventures of the Uryu and Chad and Orihime and all in that crew trying to like do whatever they're gonna do. I don't know if they're trying to fight now or if they're trying to escape. They're having fun though. Uh and Yeah, the Zaraki fight, it's gonna be interesting. He's up against the two captains. Should be cool.
Mhm. All right. Anything else you want to mention here before we end it?
Yeah, to those out there, to all the Bleach heads out there, I'm sorry if I got a little too, but like, come on, like I think it's gonna get there, but like I'm just ready for it to kick in like this. uh because I was just like comparing to like other like of the big mangas I was saying, and we're at chapter like 140 right now. Like at this point, like in Naruto, they already had gone through the tuning exams. They'd already done like all this like stuff. In One Piece, they're already on the Grand Line right now. Like
Mhm.
they've been through the whole East Blue saga. Like you're still
Yeah.
in this fucking pre arc for this. You're like, I feel like I'm only like 40% through this arc right now, and I'm like, come on, like, is this frustrating?
I'd say you're more than halfway through it.
I'm more than halfway. I don't know. I'm just frustrated. I'm ready, like, because I've been like hearing all this hype about this arc, and I'm like reading it, and I'm like, are they gonna get to the stuff? Like,
That's why you don't believe the hype.
yeah. It's like, oh man, it's like get to the stuff, like get to the things. Like I need things to happen. Like enough of this like cloak and dagger stuff. Like I need. They're really holding this whole Soul Society stuff to the like One Piece. By now they would have had like some sort of like inner meeting within like the Soul Society like big shot, so you actually would have some like context as to like what their abilities are and like why they're so shady. But it's like I don't know. I just want something. I just need some reveals. Like if they really nail it, like I'll mea culpa. I'll come on here and say, well, they really tied that together in the last 20%, and this all makes sense to me now. But if they don't do it, then I'm like, this is come on. That's all I gotta say, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you'll like the next 10 chapters.
You think? Okay. All
I
right.
think so.
All right. Okay. I hope so. I'm because I'm not like don't get me wrong. Like it's fine. Like I'm enjoying it, but you know I just want to see this pay off. I hope it pays off.
Mm.
Yeah,
All
that's all I
right.
gotta say
Well,
pretty much.
have a good day, everyone.
Yeah.
See ya.
All right.
Bye.
See you guys.